I would love to know, obviously I'm sure there's a lot that goes into this decision, having your dad here as a coach. What ultimately made you decide, okay, I do want to go to Syracuse? What were the factors involved in that decision?
Really, it was just my dad kept talking to me like as I was playing stuff, and like he kept telling me he was like, "You're doing real good." Like he'll be watching after each game and stuff, and keep telling me. And then eventually, like him and some of the other guys here were telling me like once my season there ended at my old school St. Francis, they were like, "Yeah, we think you could actually play here." So I was like, "Okay, if they think I can play here, play there," and I feel like it's time to kind of elevate. Why not go? Who
100%.
better play for than my dad?
I know it obviously there's an additional layer because he's your dad, but a lot of players say that the reason why they commit somewhere is because of the coach or because of a culture. What outside of dart, which we all, know and see at this point, what did you observe in your dad's culture that made you feel drawn to Syracuse?
So I've been watching my dad coach since I was about 7 years old when he was at Temple. So every time, like he would like lead someone the right way, and like tell him like, yo, just trust me, things are gonna work out. It would end up working out for him. And usually, not gonna like say any names, but like usually whenever someone tried to go the other way and be like, oh nah, like I don't, it's not gonna work with him or whatever, like, or try and leave or do their own thing, like it usually didn't work out. So, and I've been seeing like he's turned some players who came in like no one really expected them to be good or really be anything, like people that were even unranked, and ended up making them NFL players. So he's just been doing that and making them even better men, most importantly.
Does it make you feel proud to know that your dad is the kind of person who would take a chance or take a risk on someone who other coaches wouldn't?
Yeah, it does definitely, because my dad will see like whatever your strength is, and he'll be like, okay, he's strong at this, so we're gonna bring him in to do whatever he's good at. But then he'll also tell you like, okay, you're not good at this, you need to work on this, and then he'll have most of your focus be on the thing that you're not good at, and then eventually you'll look up, and you'll be being closer to a more balanced player or person.
This might be hard to answer because I'm sure there's a lot that you've learned. But when you think back, you said just before, a few questions ago, you said, and people are becoming better men, most importantly. In what ways do you feel like you've become a better man because of him? What kind of traits do you feel like you've developed because you've seen him, the whole time?
I feel like I've developed a very good work ethic. My dad really showed me how to work, and at first when I was a kid, I really didn't really. I was just like, just doing kid things. I was playing like video games and stuff, just chilling. And then as I like hit high school, I really started to like get serious, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna trust my dad. And then he ended up like teaching me. Like it was rough at first. Sometimes I didn't really want to do the things he was asking me to do, like working out and stuff like that. But it ended up working out really well. Like waking up at like 6 a.m. over COVID. I'm trying to tell him like waking up at 6 a.m. for what, but it ended up working out then, so it was worth it.
That's actually hysterical. I guess I would also like to know, if you feel comfortable answering this, just what that dynamic is like. He's your dad all the time, he's your coach here. How do you balance that?
It's not really that hard to balance, to be honest, because he doesn't change at all. He's the same person as a coach and as a dad. Like people are people ask me, they'll be like, "Oh, is that how your dad is at the house or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah, like he's the same guy. He's just obviously not yelling all the time and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in the house." But I'm like, "Yeah, he's the same personality, same dude all the time."
You sort of answer this, but people, as I'm sure you know, find him to be pretty intense in a good way.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of thing that you are seeing in his general interactions and just daily life?
Yeah, it is for the most part, but he's not really. He's honestly really laid back until like you give him some fire to that like or ignition to light him up. Then it'll strike a match for him. But honestly, he's really laid back. If you really know him, my dad's really chill.
I have just two more questions for you. Something he talks about frequently is how he wanted you guys to have a better life than he did. Does he talk to you guys a lot about, he's been well documented as discussing his childhood and Camden and all of those sorts of things. Does he talk to you guys a lot about that as far as his motivation and inspiration for trying to create a better life for himself and you?
He definitely makes it well known because that is really important to him where he came from. So, and he always wants each and every one of us to always remember where you came from and know what you're working towards. So like if you have a bad day, you'll always remember like, oh, I'm here. You might feel like you're stuck at the position you're currently in, but then he's always telling us like, remember where you came from. Like you've come this far. Like don't stop, don't quit.
One other thing that sticks out to me is that in a lot of the questions that have been asked, he brings up your mom. I'd love to know what role your mom has played in your development as a player and as a person, and maybe as far as his development too.
My mom, she definitely helped a lot. It's like in the athletics, I'd say it's like having a balance. It's like my dad was a fire, my mom was water. You had to balance it out. So my mom would always tell me like, just be relaxed, just be yourself, things like that. And at the end of the day, it's just football, and you want to have fun. And like I'm thinking in my head like it's not just football, but I see what she's saying. But the things she was telling me like really helped though, just to be like relaxed and just really have fun through everything.
I think that's a good message. I guess the last question for me would be, ultimately in your time here, but I guess let's just say at the end of this year, what would make you feel happy and satisfied?
Happy and satisfied. Championships, ACC champions and national champions. That would make me happy and satisfied.